Let's go through then, after you had read.
Look at this slander. This has hurt my heart every time I listen to it. But I gotta be strong enough for God to do God's work.
I did.
Can you tell us about that, please?
Initially, I asked him what he and Miss Johnson were doing there at the location, and he indicated to me that they were on their honeymoon.
Now, why would I say I'm on my honeymoon when I know exactly the difference between a honeymoon and a rendezvous?
Being there.
That's like saying I'm stupid. I don't know when I married my wife.
Initially told me that he didn't really know what I meant by what his role was. I asked him, after, like you said, basically explaining the investigation and why we were there, I asked him to tell me how he might be involved in Miss Johnson's prostitution activity. He kind of laughed at my questioning. And I remember specifically saying, he said, I see what you're doing. You're trying to get me to say I'm doing something.
And I wanted to see a lawyer immediately.
Basically told him
he left that part out.
Be honest about what was going on at that point.
He still forced the interview.
Exactly he was hiding in the closet. His response to me at that point was, quote, all right, I'm going to be straight with you. I hoe too. We hoe together.
So why do I got promoting prostitution if I told him that I hoe with her? It doesn't make sense. They lying. But I got promoting prostitution.
But he replied, and I quote, I mean, I suck and I fuck with her.
See how he reading off his notes?
If he was
stuttering still
engaged in sexual activity with Miss Johnson in exchange for money or other types of payments, and he said, yeah.
All right. Did you talk to him about, other than just the two of them in this agreement, were there others involved, and what his role was?
Yes, so basically the way he explained how some of these arrangements would work, he said that if somebody wanted to I guess engage in sexual activity.
Why they keep saying I guess?
He would be
These
a part
people
of that
is
deal, but they would
weird.
Not know that he was a part of that deal until they actually reached the location. And I asked him if he meant to tell me that if someone agreed upon those sexual services, that he just included him in the service.
This is him testifying on the fact that I'm a supposed prostitute. Nothing to do with promoting it. You get what I'm saying? It's like they don't know what they talking about, but they charged me with promoting prostitution and delivery of an oxycodone, and I never did either one.
And he said when they show up is when he explains. And I asked him how that usually goes over with the person that shows up expecting to meet with a young lady and then realizing that he was there as well. He said, we are all consenting adults and it's just casual fun. That was his explanation and reasoning behind that. I asked him if anyone actually agreed to this once arriving at the location and knowing that Mr. Johnson was going to include himself in the activities. He said yes, and if they don't feel like they are going to include themselves, that they would just sometimes watch. That would be part of the agreement at that point.
Boo! That's a lie. That's a lie. I told him that me and my wife had contracts.
As far as the agreements, if for some reason he said that they didn't want to
webcam.
Include themselves, that they would just...
I told him that me and my wife does webcam. That's exactly what I told him. And you can find that information located on Kerry Weiland's notes.
Notice that there was a phone that the defendant had at this time?
Watch this. Watch this. This is where they stories mix up at.
If I remember correctly, he had it in a pocket.
Oh, but Roger Smith said he picked it up off the floor.
I did.
He said it was in my pocket.
I asked him if I could look through his cell phone, and his response was, go ahead, you can look through whatever you want. So at that point, I read Mr. Johnson, the department issued...
Again? Come on, you going to read it to me again and I not sign it?
Allowing us, or asking for his consent to search.
This is illegal. This is fruit of the poisonous tree. This is a federal law that they are breaking.
Prior to...
right here and right now.
Initiating my entire interview with
Watch
him.
How he testified to how he just quickly forget that he need my signature. And this room was never shared between me and my wife. It was in my wife's name.
He agreed to allow us to search the room, and the possessions that were there. So this was actually the second time that I had read the consent search card to him. So he agreed to the consent search. I actually, at this point, removed him from handcuffs.
Wow, what do you know?
And why now at this juncture?
Yeah, why now? Why?
The phone,
and look at the poor lame excuse they give.
I had spent significant time with him talking about
seeing how sick I was and how hard I was rocking and how fast my heart was beating. That's what you was witnessing. Tell the truth, Roger Smith. I mean, Hernandez. Tell the truth.
Not necessarily to be a threat, so I felt safe at that point for my safety.
Both of y'all lied.
To allow him to sign.
Nothing but
so that liars,
liars, liars.
Right.
You did have him sign that as well?
I did.
Is that part of Exhibit 1 that I handed you?
Yes, it is.
And can you describe for us then on that card, did he sign that and did you sign that?
I did. So he signed it. Well, you can see on the first line where his signature would be. The initial portion of it says yes.
How did this judge let them get away with so much wrong?
And then right next to it,
was she really in cahoots with the whole plan and plot?
My name is listed at the bottom.
Maybe it was because they knew I could sue them for.
I would offer State's Exhibit 1.
What they done to me? They made me do 22 days with no PO.
Yes, please. Yeah, let me go.
22 days with no PO, no sanction. I did. Sick. I was stopped from being seen from my doctors to see what's wrong with me.
Johnson.
They used my wife evidence that they charged her with against me in my criminal case. That's crazy. It just says room and car. Like I said, they only asked me to search my car, and I don't know how they wrote room on there because the room was never shared with me and my wife. My wife got that room on her own.
The particular one that the defendant had signed, it says room and car here.
Correct. So that
why was in this case dismissed then?
Of the consent to search.
How did that information get past a judge that studied her whole life?
But I did
listen to this mess. This mess is just all over the place.
Area, I guess, of that card.
This top portion says
they can't take it back now.
Premises that you're allowed to search.
I need justice.
That's correct.
I need help from the public.
Right. The second time, yes, and that's when he signed.
So you gotta listen to these deep thoughts of mine. Somebody out there gonna hear it.
Yes, quote, yes, and he
listen to this.
That was for his cell phone.
Well, I wrote yes after the initial reading for the room and card because he was unable to sign, and then during the second portion, when I read it the second time, that's when I removed him from handcuffs, and he was able to write or to sign the card himself, but I didn't write specifically cell phone or anything on any of that free space that's might
just
be remaining.
All inclusive.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Why?
So, Detective, so that
yes.
I'm sure I'm clear. You used the same card twice.
He used the same card twice for two different things.
No objection to State's Exhibit 1.
Because she didn't want to help me. So she let it ride. She could have ate that up and, man, I'm telling you, a real lawyer would have ate that moment up right there. That's unethical to do. You gave me an interview for approximately 30 minutes and you still chose to break the law. You broke the fruit of the poisonous tree.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Detective Johnson,
look, he called me Detective Johnson.
Then
you're right.
If he could provide you the passcode to actually access his phone.
Yes, I did.
This is a lie.
When
my phone was in passcode protected.
So I asked him if he
lies.
would provide me that passcode so that I could actually review.
My mama can get into my phone.
And he did. He verbally provided me the code 0550.
I don't even know what that. I don't know what that goes to.
Yes, it did.
And again, you only knew that from the defendant telling you what it was, correct?
That's correct.
And
so, were you able to then look at text messages on that phone?
I was. I reviewed several messages. One contact in particular reviewed messages from a contact listed as Moneymaker. After looking through the contact listing, I saw an associated photo with that contact, as many cell phones will allow you to do now, and I recognized the photo of the person to be Miss Johnson. So.
The same Miss Johnson that Detective Smith had made these arrangements with.
Yes, that's correct.
All right.
During the text message conversations that I reviewed between Mr. Johnson and Miss Johnson, Miss Johnson made reference, several references to having quote, a lick. And in my experience and training experience based on human trafficking and prostitution type investigations, I know that term is common for referring to a John or a male subject engaging in the soliciting prostitution. So